Hello, welcome to Cards of the Week. I am Biosan,
And I'm the Night Shadow.
and we're here to bring you the cards of week of the first week of May. Technically, yes.
Ye sure. Sure. And this week we have more Madoka Magica cards.
More
So
like
let's
the first actual full week of Modoka cards. But
well,
whatever.
well sure. Okay, fine.
Is it? I don't remember anymore.
Well, no, I thought last week we had
Oh yeah, no, yeah, bad. It was the second. It's the second week of
this is
the
the
second
second
week.
week.
Second
Yeah.
week. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm wrong.
All right, and let's start with level 3 Sayaka. Um the one guided by the cycle Sayaka. This is a level 3 cost 2 9500 power blue character with the magic and love traits. If you have 6 or more climaxes in your waiting room, this card loses 1 level in your hand. At the start of your opponent's draw phase, and this card is in your front row, you can choose one of your characters and give it 4000 power until the end of the turn. And when this card attacks, and you have the Climax Sayaka's true form, which is a gate trigger, you can pay 1. If you do, you search your deck for 2 magic characters, show them to your opponent, and add them to your hand, and shuffle your deck.
Honestly, I think playing the climax the moment you drop it in the early game, when you can, I mean, at level 2, is kind of no pointless because if by the time you hit six more climaxes, you're generally out of deck.
True.
But
But it,
understandably,
but here's the thing. This is level 2 though. This is also Madoka. You had the level 2 home row refresh.
it's true. But you have
Level
to
2.
you do have to remember you do technically have to remember that means you have to you have to use 3 full stock put back in the deck. But then I guess you could pull 2 back out. Okay, I guess so.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
I
Like
guess I that's right. I totally forgot about that card because I haven't played a Modoka deck in a long time.
Madoka's kind of like my old
It's one of those old sets that had became redundant.
yeah, well, no, I mean like this is one of my old series that I used to play a lot,
This
especially
this
with
was
that.
technically my first no second series I bought into, and then I totally scrapped it and sold it for profit.
Fair enough. I actually think this card is well, let's see here. I remember back when we were doing the Kantai Collection 2 previews, and I completely harped on Hiryu, talking about how the plus 4K. I think it's Hiryu, right? Or is it
Not sure anymore. I'm pretty sure it's
which
Soryu.
sister which sister it is? But anyways, I remember harping on that whole 4K bonus and how it was so crappy and whatever. Several weeks have passed since that time, and I've gotten beat by that effect enough that I kind of recognize it's a good card effect now. Being able to play this at level 2 and the ability to just stay there is not bad. The only problem is that's all it does.
I can't
And
say anything about the second ability. I have not actually seen the ability in play myself yet. In fact,
I've gotten beat by it 9 times.
I haven't yet, and even
With
if I did,
Girlfriend Beta, Girlfriend Beta's version, Kantai's version, I think there's one other set that has it right now. I've gotten beat by it a couple times, and yeah, I can say that the effect is strong. The only thing is that there's other level 3s in Madoka that do much better than this. This is just a wall. And if before we had a wall, we just ran Ultimate
if you really want
Madoka,
to really
and
play a wall at this point, you just play the original Sayaka.
well, no, but you can only play that at level 3. Oh, I'm talking about level 2 walls. Like
Oh, level 2 walls.
because what we would do before was that we change into Ultimate Madoka and bring back the level assist via the event, right? And that would be a 11.5 or 13k wall with either the 3k or the Grief Seed as backup. And that was basically our wall, and it healed. This one just gives power, and I feel like that's not enough.
Not gonna say anything. I honestly think the original Sayaka is better. I don't really see a reason why you should be dropping this at level 2. That early, I mean. Then again, your opponent should technically not be prepared for it right away because considering that Madoka changes are draw phase changes, they can easily set up ahead of time.
Yeah. What my thoughts, I guess, on this is that if you really want to keep a level 1 wall up at level 2 for some reason, this really helps one of them at least. But it still dies to level 1 bombs, so I don't know.
Level
I
one
don't.
bombs. What do you mean? It'll be level 3 by the time you play it again.
Oh no! I mean like the level 1 that you're boosting
Oh
with the.
yeah, those ones. Yeah. That goes down to the deck you're playing against. Honestly,
Obviously.
not every deck has not every series has that kind of availability.
Hmm. Okay, moving on. This is my role, Sayaka. Level 2 costs 1, 4,000 power, blue character with the Magic and Love trait. This is a level assist, so all characters in front of this gain power plus X, where X is the level of the character times 500. And as an act ability, you can pay 2 and rest this to search your deck for a magic character and add to your hand. I like the Ultimate Badoka one better.
Um, just because it's a change to a level 3, I like the Motoka one better.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I understand this is actually a decent enough card to play. It's just that it might be a bit too expensive for a 2-1.
I wouldn't say it's too expensive. I mean, Nanoha had theirs from Strikers, and it's actually survived pretty long for a while. I wouldn't say that it's a bad thing.
I don't. I
There's
mean,
better
like, the
options.
search might be a little bit too late.
Oh, too late. Okay, well, okay, that's understandable.
I mean, like, the search might be too late. It's not like, I don't know what's the best comparison. Makoto from Minor Master, I suppose. It's exact same
Well,
effect almost.
I mean, like that effect is in the same set as a pay one ditch one search, which Madoka finally got, right? So, which one would you rather have?
Both.
Well, okay, granted. But I mean, like,
Um.
I would rather much have the one that I can bond to.
Yes, there's that too. The Ultimate Madoka one is spawnable.
Yeah, the level assist that goes into the Ultimate Badoka is bondable from a 001K Homura. That's basically it. Like, otherwise, this card is pretty decent and would be playable otherwise.
If
That's
you're not playing, if you're playing like a Sayaka Kyoko deck, then I don't see reason why you should be playing this. I mean, like,
But even in the Sayaka Kyoko deck, I still ran the Ultimate Badoka level assist because healing is good.
no, I mean like pure Kyoko Sayaka, no real.
Oh, just pure. Oh well, in
Yeah.
that case.
And then again, I suppose you might just be playing the change from Kyoko instead, maybe.
Well, you mean you play the Howling Kyoko then?
The how? No, not well that too, but I mean like the level 2 to 3 change.
Uh,
It's
the
like
1,000
it's like
assist to Kyoko.
yeah, that one.
That's marginal at best. I currently have it tagged in my English deck, and well, I had it tagged in my English deck for practice in Toronto, which is as of this recording last week. Um, it did not perform as well as I wanted to. Let's just put it that way.
Performed well enough from the last time I played Monica, but that being said, that was a different era. That was a different era of
Exactly.
that was a totally different era. So I don't know how we do now.
Well,
Either way, this card is good. It just can't really beat up Monica as it is right now.
there's just too many things that the Madoka's swaying feelings does that this one doesn't. And that, in a nutshell, besides the fact that it's green, which is the second best color in Madoka, it, it just it just has too many things going on that makes it great. That this Sayaka kind of tries to fill and doesn't do enough by itself. Now, if this card has a bond that isn't shown, then this card might be equal or a little bit upper. But right now, as I see it, it's not close.
As of right now, I still think the original green one is better just because of the change in Mon. That's really it.
Well,
The search on Saikai is like you might be able to use it, you might not. It depends on how well you can build up stock.
yeah, and people saying like, "Oh, well, it's the change is weak to bounce. Well, you can't." Well, guess what? Level assists are targets for bounce anyways because they provide a lot of power. So it's not like they're not gonna be bounced in the first place.
That's true. They can still be balanced.
Yeah.
I mean, like the people would choose them if they could.
Hmm.
The only one I know that cannot be balanced is actually there is only one level support that cannot be balanced. No,
That's
two. My bad, two. There's two.
well, the one I'm thinking of is from Idolmaster, Yayoi,
Now
the frog one.
there's also one from Psychopass as well.
Okay.
The one that Psychopass has is like literally the same thing as Yayoi and has more power. Yep, totally power creep there. Okay.
I think actually I faced against that today in my final round when I was using Clan today.
Well, whatever.
Oh,
It's
whichever.
whatever.
All right, let's move on. Intuitive type Kyoko. This is a level 3 cost to 10,000 power with a red character with the Magic and Sweets trait. When this comes into play from hand, You can take the top card of your clock and put it in your waiting room. And when this card attacks, you may pay 2 and ditch 1 card from your hand to deal 1 damage to your opponent.
Yeah.
Um,
At least it has at least it's a heal.
no, that's not the point.
I'm trying to think on
Welcome
that.
back, Excel World.
Excel. Oh wait, yeah, that's right. I didn't realize the exact same thing as Excel World.
It's Nico, except instead of paying 2 and ditching 1, it's pay 3. That's what Nico was. So
I didn't realize that actually.
welcome back, I guess. Um, that effect was kind of lackluster because
It only did
cost
one.
too much.
It cost too
and
much.
did one. This, on the other hand, this is different. Nico was necessary because it was the pretty much the only finishing option besides the double attack Kiryu. Here, this one combos pretty well with the top deck Kyoko from the first set.
It depends on what you want to do. You want to confirm a damage, or you want to gamble and try to get Climax.
Well, granted, but I mean, like, confirming damage is probably the strongest effect.
Yes, I understand that one. Oh,
So-
trust me, I understand that one for sure. I could do two of my other master deck, but oh whatever.
I don't know. I like the combination of effects. I kind of wish it was just better.
But honestly, that kind of combination is gonna cost too much. If you think about it, it's 4 stock for the characters, 1 stock for the original Kyoko, and another 2 from the other for this one.
Let's compare it to a similar card, but slightly different. The level 3 Ilya and Miyu from the first set. Their combo was rather convoluted as heck and required quite a bit of stock usage and/or cards in hand that you needed to decompress yourself, but the upside is way higher. Here, there's a little bit less risk, but a lot less reward, and to me, that's not worth it.
I think it just costs too much.
That's what I said.
Yeah, basically the BU Ilya one is, as you know, it's kind of gun ho. It's pretty honestly it's pretty gun ho. I mean, like the easiest comparison to that one is about the Haruka one, and that one isn't so gun ho, and it still works just as well.
Well, yeah. Well, either way, I think this card is pretty good together. Just it's rather lackluster.
Now it is. Compared
Yeah.
If you compare it, if it's like back then, it might be okay, but
Okay, it might be actually really good. Like, if you replace the old level 3 Kyoko with this one in the set, I think Sayaka wouldn't be the #1 run card.
I still think Psycho would be the number one played card.
Well, no, it would be the #1 played character, yes, but I don't think the level 3 Sayaka would be played in numbers. I think the Kyoko would be, only because that would be their finisher. Remember old style Madoka was just heal spam compression that didn't really.
Yeah, I know that.
finish
Trust
your
me,
type.
I knew that. I know that. I know
So
that.
it would be something that they would be able to finish. Before that, all they had was a Kyoko top deck, which okay, great, you got 1 card and then maybe 2 more, but you'd probably cancel. It was kind of awkward.
Well, either way, if you have to compare it to not cards now, it's kind of meh.
Eh.
But
kind of there,
if you
right?
want to go back then this card would have been good.
If only, right?
If only, right? Yeah, if only. If only they made this set how many years ago?
Well, actually, funny story about that. They did.
Well, let's not go there now. Let's just keep going.
No, like they actually did. All of these effects were made actually several months after the first Madoka set was actually made, but they couldn't actually print it because they didn't have the rights to the movie. So, yeah, they did have all these effects made a little while earlier, so that's why these effects somewhat seem dated.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, that's actually it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting, really, just to think about it. But yeah, a little food for thought, I guess. All right. So moving on, A Calm Day in Autumn Sayaka. This is a level 1 cost 0, 4,000 power blue character with the magic and love traits. For every other magic character you control on stage, this card gets 500 power, and this is a blue shift level 1.
I'm just gonna say Apple Kyoko Saika is probably better. but this card is probably better as a standalone.
Well, granted, far better as a standalone, but if we really want something that, like, okay, so I guess in my opinion, there's two kind of camps here. If you're running Kyoko Sayaka, you run the Apples combo. If you don't really care about that, I think that the Mami Nagisa combo is slightly better because of the hand encore. Because then you can run one of the giver of hand encore and the 1,000 to all characters during your turn.
You can't really disregard the fact it has Chef with
I can't. Like this is really consistent, but sometimes consistency isn't the name of the game. Sometimes it's about power, which Madoka didn't really have besides the Apples combo. Being a 106k is great and all, but being just that, there were better 1-0s in the set previous to this.
You meant the vanilla.
Yes,
basically, it's kind of sad. It's the vanilla. The original vanilla is better from the TD.
Yeah. This card is actually pretty good just by itself. It's just in context-wise, this card has rather big competition in the lesbian duo, which actually is kind of odd to say that because they're not. But sure.
They're really good friends. Let's just go with that.
Yes. So I guess my final verdict on this is that this is a solid card that just
doesn't
that if you want if you're running this card, my opinion is that you want to conserve deck space for other things because both the Mami Nagisa and the Apples combo both take up quite a number of deck slots.
It takes like at least 6 slots.
Yes.
And that's a decent number.
Mm-hmm. So if you're running this, I think you would your concern is about deck space rather than deck power or deck consistency. The consistency is a nice bonus, obviously. So yeah, all in all, a good card for certain builds, not for every build.
I'm trying to think of a way to combo through this. I mean, like in general context, you could combo this with Sayaka's Wish. I mean, like if this card was, you just clock it, shift it out, put a card you actually want to put back in your hand. So I can wish this card, heal for gimmicks, and then just then just play whatever card you just re-grabbed again with whatever you clocked. Actually that sounds terrible. Now forget it. I realize that's a -1. That's still a -1 no matter what.
Yeah.
You'll be doing that just for the draw.
Yeah. Okay. So well. One more card on this leg, and it's called A Lonely Battle Home Run. And yes, that's correct, A Lonely Battle Home Run. This is the third instance of that name in Madoka. The first one being the Trial Deck Standalone, and the 1/1 that can attack back row. This is the third one. All of them saying A Lonely Battle Home Run. This is a 0/0, power 500, green character with the magic and time traits. When this card attacks, all your characters with Madoka gain 500 power until the end of this turn, and it bonds to the 1/0 that we covered last week.
The one that gains power for every magic card you have on field.
The 1/05k on play gain up to 2,500 until the end of the turn.
I suppose if you look at it as a power play, that Madoka card will become 8k.
This is no apples.
It's not Apple. No, this is no Apple for sure.
This is definitely not going to be the lonely battle that you would run. If you're making a mono Homura deck, this is not the card you're gonna play because one, it's bonds to a Madoka, but two, you lose out on time manipulation or you lose out on your standalone character. Usually you run 2 and 2 because they're both. You can't run 4 and 4 because they have the same name. This card is not even close to coming to these other two, and if you wanted something similar to this, the Apples combo or the Mami Nagisa combos there, this is not it.
Top that, those two are more consistent in the first place. This combo is literally one turn play, and then after that, they're both probably dead.
I could make so many jokes about that, but no, I'm gonna leave it at that. It's okay.
Yeah, well, if it was for the name, maybe.
Well, see that's what really kills this card. It has the same name as the other two. Why?
Maybe if you don't plan to play the other two cards, for some reason.
Well, if you're not playing those two cards, that probably means that you're not playing Mono Homura. In which case, why are you playing this card?
I don't know. I don't
Like
know.
this card is bad. It, like Apples is better. Mami Nagisa is better. The next card we're talking about is better. Why would you run this?
I don't know. I
There is
don't
no
know.
reason. Uh, this, in my opinion, is a bulk rare slot. It's not worth it.
Not saying anything. I haven't played against Monaco or with my Monaco deck in a long time. So
Yeah. All right, moving on. The way she wished things would turn out to be, Mami. Level 1 cost 0, 4k power with a yellow character with the magic and T traits. For every other magic character you control, this gains 500 power and it has Clock Encore. See,
uh
look, it's a better Sayaka.
yeah, technically it's a better side card. Yes, it has 500 less power, but it's more controllable.
I was actually gonna. No. The Sayaka from earlier, the 500 for every other, and then
Oh,
shift.
I thought you were talking about this. I talked about the so-called what's it called? Prayer healer, praying healer. I don't remember anymore.
Oh no. I'm not even gonna bother with that one. This one, yeah. I was actually going to say that this card was better when I was talking about Sayaka earlier, but then I realized that this card was later, so I decided to talk about it here. This card is better just because of the Clock Encore. There
It
isn't a
it
Clock
it,
Encore giver in besides the 0/0 red Cube for the first set, and that card was even run because of the Clock Encore. It really kept characters alive, and you really wanted stuff to happen, especially at level 0 and beyond.
it's usually
Um,
just a level 0.
She's a costless option for Mami Nagisa decks, especially if you want to run that 3/5 event, which I still think is pretty good. Um, yeah, I really like this card.
Oh, to be honest, if this card didn't come out, I still think this card would be. I'm pretty sure that event would be pretty bad. I mean, like trying to keep a field and that event and be able to play that event is that's kind of troubling.
Well, granted,
It would be really hard.
but I mean, like this is Mami we're talking about. If we're running a Mami Nagisa deck, if we're not running the Han Encore one, we're running this one, which I think I would actually go with this one over the Mami Nagisa.
I honestly think this one is better than the original combo that we talked about last week.
Yeah, and only because of one, Clock Encore, and two, it frees up both your back row spaces for the 1/1 Mammy that gives 1k during your turn. So this can be an 8k beater, and you don't really care about defense because you got Clock Encore.
That can depend. If you it can depend if whatever deck you're playing against. Some decks can just kill it straight up.
Well, well, okay, fine. I'll change my 1/1s into 2/2. You can't counter.
Yes, you can.
Hmm?
Yes, you can. Event counters.
Well, okay, fine, but so can I. Like, I think that the Mami Nagisa deck has more options now thanks to this card, and this card is a really strong card all on its own. It may give me pause about thinking about yellow actually for the meta deck, but I'm gonna have to see what the whole set brings before I make a judgment call on that. I like what this card does though.
What? No, I got nothing else. Go ahead.
Okay, okay. All right, next card is a Calm Day in Autumn, Kyoko. This is a level 0, cost 0, 1500 power, red character with the Magic and Sweets trait. When this card is reversed in battle, if the battle opponent is a level 0, reverse it as well. Oh, you may reverse that. And it's a shift red level 0.
Wow, that's an instant changeover.
Yeah, Vanilla's reverser, that's gone. This is in. Needless to say, being able to shift into it and grab it whenever you need to allows the Madoka deck, which already wasn't running 16 zeros, to run less zeros because they really want the space for their level 3s and their level 2 tech, even with this new booster. So being able to run 14 zeros and shift is really, really appreciated.
Trying to think, did it even had shift? Oh yes, never mind. They had shift before.
Oh yeah, that's one of the few reasons why it was okay to run a Lonely Battle home roll, because it was your solo character that you could also pull out from your clock in case that you wanted to do something, like if you took damage early or whatever. It was a really good, nice, versatile option. But there were stronger characters that eventually just fell by the wayside. But the shift was not to be underestimated. And now that you have a solid character that you can run all the time, especially with a shift that's relevant, yeah, I mean a shift color that's relevant. Uh, I'd say that all the more power to this.
Well, it goes down to how much red you actually play, but I'm pretty sure you can play enough red to actually make this relevant enough as it is. Even then, you'll be changing this from the original vanilla Suicider anyways, because this one is still better by large degree just because of the shift.
Uh-huh.
I wonder what would have been like if it had a different kind of ability. I don't know.
You mean like if this card had a different ability
Yeah,
instead of shift?
instead of a shift, what would have been like instead?
Oh, like on play pay two salvage?
Um, that would be debatable. Actually, I probably would do. Actually, I'll probably still play that card over the vanilla.
Of course you would.
Well, yeah, but
Versatility is better than non-versatility, right? You don't care about a extra 500 power on a reverser.
don't worry about it. Let's just give it accelerate for 25 and we'll just call it a day.
I'm pretty sure Kyoko is cuter than Lisbeth. All right,
Uh,
moving on. Magical Girls is Tea Party, Sayaka. Level 1 cost 1, 6,000 power, blue character with the magic and love traits. This character has Clock Encore, and as an act ability, you can ditch climaxes to the waiting room to give this card 1,000 power and one instance of the following ability. When this card reverses its opponent in battle, you may draw a card. So yes, that means if you discard multiple climaxes, you get to draw multiple cards. This is an effect that was first found on Saya, in Little Buster's Ecstasy. And since then, it's been a really good effect that's been able to ditch excess climaxes that you just can't seem to get rid of. It's perfect for those decks that run a lot of treasures.
just gonna say the Saya one was good because that card was costless.
No, well,
Yeah,
granted, but it had hand encore. That's one of the
as far as all replicas and Sayakas, they all have some kind of encore to start with.
Of course, because otherwise it wouldn't be that great.
Saya might have been the weaker form, but because it was costless, I think it was still more efficient because it cost
It's also
you
Little Busters too.
There's
Just
that, yeah.
thinking
Then
about
again,
that.
it's Little Busters.
Madoka has no problem spending stock at level 1.
That's true, actually. Now I think about it.
Like this could be
I
your
mean,
2
like,
of 1/1 of the.
I think you just be playing two of at
Yeah.
most. I mean, like, you could even use it. You could just, if you're really done with it, you could just Saya could wish this off if you have to.
Exactly, and this is a better one than the Infinite Respawn 1065, I think.
It is technically, yes, it is. Because the 1065 is easily abusable by the numerous two-time attackers.
But if you keep it up for that long,
There's a decent number of them now compared to what back then.
Yeah.
Even then, back then, and if anyone could abuse it, they would.
Mhm. I would say that this would take the place of in my deck building. I tend to have room for 2 1/1s, and this would slot right into my 2 1/1 slots perfectly. I don't see another 1/1 that would help me as much as this one would, and has enough deck slots and versatility that I really like this card.
I technically do the same thing, except my main set has absolutely no real good 1/1, so everything's a 1/0.
Well, we're talking about Madoka here, right?
I know that, but I'm thinking about 1/1s in Madoka that was, playable I can think of at this point, and really there isn't really one. Thinking about that again, just to be sure. I guess I kind of guess the the Monaco card that gains 500, was it 1k? 1k back then was okay, but that was back then again.
Oh, you mean the mother?
Not the mother. Well, actually that one too, but no, it's a 1165 that gains 1k if you have some number of stock.
Oh, you mean the magical girl of bows?
Yeah, that one. I'm trying to read
this.
this off. I'm trying to remember this off memory at this point.
Yeah, I know the entire set from memory, so I can probably pull it out. Well, it's a 1165. If you have 4 or more stock, it gains 1k.
That was like the only real playable back then.
Oh, it was a good one back then, but
It was a good
you
one
didn't
back
really
then,
see it
but now it's kind of like whatever. But
yeah, 1175.
yeah, anyone could crack through that now these days, especially if they have no encore.
Well, back then I used to build a lot of like when Madoka came out, both in Japanese and English. I like to build budget decks for players just getting into it. Building a mono Madoka deck or mono named Madoka deck was really good because if you played the mother and then you played those 1/1s,
Yeah,
you get these up to 1/195, which was insane. And then you had your counter for 2/5, so there was a lot going on. it was really powerful for a beginner deck, so I didn't see the problem with it. Obviously, times have changed. Different things are in the meta. But yeah, I'd say this is probably as solid as a level 1/1 as we can get.
Yeah, Sayaka is as I guess it's always as you can get it to be. It's a Sayaka card. That means Sayaka which is relevant again. Well, it's always
Mm,
been relevant, but it becomes more relevant. I
yeah,
guess again, I guess you could just Sayaka wish it and then like clock on court after.
that's the sickest part too. And on top of that, because you Sayaka's like if for example your opponent is front attacking it, and then you Sayaka's wish it to set it to the waiting room. If you clock on court, it's no longer the battling character, so it won't get reversed if you bring it back. That's the best part.
Is that actually how it works? I'm trying to remember that. Is that actually how it works? I'm pretty sure they still have to battle at some point.
No, because if it's a new instance of the character.
Oh, that's true. That is true actually.
It's a new instance of the character, so they won't actually battle. So that gives a
I'm
doubly.
trying. That's exactly the thing, because I remember I had a time where I played the Capo 3 Aoi, and then it died because of the her effect.
No, but that was done before the battle because
No, I mean, like, this was during, in between battles. There was a point, there's a card in that Capo that dies if you refresh. Yeah, you see that.
when was that? See,
It's a really bad level 3, but I played it because it was a fan deck.
hmm, I guess we can discuss that at another time. But as far as I know, when you send the character to a waiting room and then bring them back, it's a new instance. As such, it's not the character that's battling.
I think I may have to go through Bushi Road about that one real quick at some point in time. I think I
But
have
even
to.
even discounting that, like assuming that I'm wrong, it's still a really good
It's
level
still
one
a good.
card.
It's still a good level 1 card regardless. So let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. The one guided by the cycle, Nagisa. Level 3 cost 2, 10,000 power, yellow character with the magic and cheese traits. When this comes into play from your hand, you can take the top card of your clock and put it in your waiting room. When you play the Climax, bring over memories, and this card is in your front row, you can pay 1. If you do, choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower characters and place it in their memory. Then, your opponent chooses up to one level 0 or lower character from their waiting room and place it to where that character was. The Climax, Bringer of Memories, is a 1k1 wind. I got really excited about this card at first because
I
because I was reading it and it's like your opponent then chooses, right? There wasn't a May when they were talking about that. It's like, oh sweet, they actually have to put that out for all the clock kickers, and then it says up to one. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
oh,
they could choose 0.
oh, which became, oh, really,
Now we
really,
have to think about through context. Yeah, I'm not going to mention about the heal because that's kind of just like the filler skill at this point. The Climax combo is situational, I think, honestly.
I was hoping that you could make a situational card better, but no, this card is not as good as this card. I would not play in the Mami Nagisa deck.
I
I
wouldn't
would,
either. I'll probably play the original Mommy
and then the burn Mami.
and the new burn one,
Yeah,
honestly. Um, I mean, like, this card is situational. I mean, like, yes, there are cards you would send to memory and they will never and hope you never see it again, but that would mean they already played it.
yeah.
But let's just give an example. Missy Curl from Railgun, they would have done it. Granted, they could use it over and over again, but they already at least done it once.
Yeah, and I think the worst part. I think
Markup
the worst
on
part about
Nisekoi is a
oh
strong
shit.
example, but no matter look at it, once someone drops Marka, it's pretty much done.
Yeah, it did what it needed to do.
And the next like one of level 3 I can think of is like Laharo, but you know how Laharo works, so you don't have to do anything. It send itself to memory.
Yeah, there's just
If it's
I get,
something like choose a card from your opponent's waiting room and send it to memory, now I would have totally said something else.
but that's not a yellow effect. That's the thing.
It's true. This is true. There's not a level effect, but at this point, this color actually matters too much outside of actual being out of
Oh, it,
restriction
it does
play.
still matter, but they've loosened the restrictions regarding some effects that Bushiroad determined to be all around. Like, Searching should be in all colors rather than just being in yellow and blue, for example. They they said that searching should be in all colors, like general stuff effects like that, and a little bit more nuanced effects are still all colors. If you dig a bit deeper, you'll find that there are still the color wheel, just it's slightly different, and they've dug a bit more into the mantle now.
Either way, this card is more situational than actually
Yeah.
playable.
It's see, here's the thing. The saddest part is in the Mami Nagisa deck, I would run the Climax, but not run the card.
You meant the wind trigger itself?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say anything about that. I
I
mean,
would
like,
rather.
I see the viability of 8 wins.
Uh,
I'm not sure I'm not kind of sure what kind of climax late you have there, to be honest, at that point.
well, I mean, we don't have a shot yet.
It's true, just we don't have a shot yet.
I'm waiting for that shot trigger. I want to see the shot trigger because that's what we really need for this deck.
Maybe for this set might even have a shot trigger. I mean, like
No, don't do this.
there's are sets that don't that are missing climaxes, certain climaxes
Okay,
types,
granted, especially the bag trigger recently.
especially the bag trigger. Yeah,
But seriously, we're gonna have two sets in a row of Madoka without a shot trigger with the character that wields a gun.
yes. That's
Really? Well,
well.
okay.
If you think of
Let's be fair.
context, Homura holds a gun too, but
Yeah, like let's be fair. The trigger is actually called the flame trigger officially, so it's not a shot trigger. It's not technically from a gun. Blah blah blah. But it would be really nice to have a shot trigger at some point, a flame trigger.
well,
Like,
I'm sure they'll get it, but until then, we'll have to wait and see.
yeah, sad face. All right, now moving on from a bad card to a pretty good card. Homura's Despair. It's a green 2/2 event, and you can choose a character in with Homura in its name from your hand and play it on anywhere on stage.
To be honest, I think the only card relevant known right now to actually be able to use this is the new Double War Heart Omura.
Which one?
The one that's on play draw two, drop one, and then play climax to do things.
I say that there's another option, and we're going to be covering that
Sooner, I
next.
know that one is technically the better option, but that does require one more turn play.
No, it doesn't. You can get it out on turn two because
I
you
know,
can change
I
the
mean like
ultimate
you require 2 turns in turn two.
Why 2 turns?
You had to get Ultimate Monaco out first place.
Okay, that's fine. We do that anyways. We stall at level 2, get Ultimate Madoka out, heal, and
That's what I mean. I mean, like this. If you had to compare it to a car, if you had to compare it to Himeno, which is literally just on that turn play.
okay, granted, but I mean, like, Himeno is kind of a cornerstone. Here, this is just a side view. Like, this is actually not the main focus of the deck, which just makes it really powerful. Anyways, let's actually get to that card. But first, I need to cover a different card. Ultimate Madoka. Yes, there's a second Ultimate Madoka. And I tried not to allude to this before revealing this. This is a level 3, cost 2, 9,500 power, green character with the magic. And, oh, shoot. Let me try that again. I forgot to check the traits.
It's just magic on.
Okay, with just magic trait?
Yeah, so it's
I
just
think
magic.
I think you can cut it somewhere where I can.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and magic trait. For each of your other magic characters, this card gains 500 power, and when this comes into play from your hand or via a change ability, you draw a card and gain 2k until the end of the turn. The draw is optional. Well, new Ultimate Madoka.
If you think about it, this is easily the budget version.
I wouldn't say it's the budget version. I'd say it's the anti-heal version.
I suppose so.
Right? I mean, like with Kantai and Lil Busters running their anti-heal all over the place, you really want to have an option in case that you don't really feel like healing. I think running at least one of this version is okay.
I suppose one is fine, but
Yeah.
ideally, you'll probably just play the original more than the
Of
this
course.
one.
Of course, because I mean, like Kantai and Little Busters aren't everything, but they are oppressive enough that you really want to have at least one copy of this. The draw 1k and 2 is pretty good. It's a plus in the chain. It's a break even on the change actually. With
No, it's technically a plus.
Is it?
Yes, because the change itself is still make this card a 3/2.
Oh yeah.
And
Never
then
mind. It is a plus. Yeah.
it's a
The
plus.
plus
No,
on
it's not
change.
change.
Sorry.
It's not a break. It's an actual plus.
And honestly, a power wall at level 2 is pretty good still. Um, but this is your alternative to if you face anti-heal, and I think that's a pretty good option. So yeah, and here's the reason why we were talking about Ultimate Madoka quite a bit.
I think you should cover the level 0 first.
Really?
Yes, because we have to talk about that too.
Okay, okay. Let's talk about the level 0 then. This is the New World Madoka. Level 0 cost 0, 2500 power, green character with the magic trait. Just double checking. Yeah, I didn't actually have the traits up on my end. Yep, it is magic trait. If the number of cards in your stock is 2 or less, this card gains 1500 power. Oh, hey, look. We're not going to be playing Madoka fighting while Perkusnocked anymore.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Maybe.
This is a 4K level 0. Finally. That doesn't require being alone. Finally. That's good.
You'll be playing this card because of the next card anyways, but this card is good as a early card game anyways.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, let's take your typical scenario where you put a cube in the back, like yellow cube, and the brainstorm Homura. That's a 4500 power wall at level 0 that doesn't have any bad requirements. It's pretty good.
2500. It won't be 4K.
No, but you had the cube at the back, so
no,
it's 4
that's
or 5.
what I mean. 4
Yeah,
5,
it's pretty
yeah.
good. I like it. I like the potential that card has, but it's a level 0, so there's not much really to talk about.
There's not much to talk about. It's just a good power early game powerhouse. Other than that, it's like nothing else. It becomes fodder.
Yeah. All right, and now we get to the, shall we say, the meat of the episode. Literally and figuratively, became a devil, Homura.
Oh, by the way, movie spoiler, totally.
Yeah. Level 3 cost, as if Ultimate Madoka from the first set wasn't anime spoiler.
Yeah,
We're
I guess
used
so.
to Madoka spoiling stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, so this is a level 3 cost 2, 10,000 power green character with the magic and devil traits. Yes, devil, not demon. It's Akuma, not Mazoku. So we do have a new trait coming on here, and this is going to be very interesting.
I honestly think this should be a standalone trait, but let's just keep going.
If there's a marker underneath this card, it gains 8,500 power. When you play this onto the stage from your hand, you may choose a card on your stage named Ultimate Madoka and put it underneath this card as a marker. If you do, choose a card named The New World Madoka from your waiting room and put it on the stage position that card was on. And as an auto ability, whenever this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, and keep in mind this is for both turns, you may pay 2 and choose a card in your hand and put it in the waiting room. If you do, put the reverse character into your opponent's clock. It's Nico Nico Ni, except, well, more evil.
I don't know. I wasn't gonna say anything about that, but if you want to play this at turn 2, it's going to be two at least 2 turns in level 2 you have to deal with.
See, in Japanese, bounce isn't actually that prevalent. It's there at times, but it's not the number one thing. So you can pretty much guarantee this staying on stage for quite a while, especially because 18,500 is a big number. And the fact that you can reverse your opponent's characters during your opponent's turn, okay, sure, you're going to minus a lot from your hand. That's fine. You still kill a bunch of stuff, and that's guaranteed damage. This is a heavy, heavy power card, and I find it really difficult to beat over, even if you're playing normally.
Yes, this card 18.5 as a standalone is really massive. Even some of the power decks can't really get over that kind of number without literally trying.
And the best part is, if your opponent only has level 0s and you decide to just play this at level 2, even if you don't have the Ultimate Madoka, that's fine. Just kick the clock them while you still have the advantage. You don't even need the Ultimate Madoka for those. If your opponent's field is just low power that they're getting through because of Encore or because they're ramming, it's really great just to be able to have the versatility of playing this early with that event and not being forced to grab an ultimate Madoka in order to do the clock kick, which is really nice in my opinion.
Yeah, you don't really actually have to play Ultimate Monaco to actually get the last effect, but it's ideal if you already have it on field.
Well, of course.
That's pretty much why I said this. If you really plan to play this at level 2, make sure you already have Ultimate Monaco on field at least.
Yeah. My opinion on this is that I think that because of this card, I am really considering putting yellow into the deck because this card, even without the marker, but with Grief Seed, is rather insane in potential.
That's a huge counter, yes. If they somehow locked you out of event counters, then that's gonna suck. But even then, 18-5 at level 2 is gonna be hard to get through.
Exactly. And let's say that you don't even get the marker. Let's say it's just 10,000. But you're playing to get the marker, so you're going to be running the level assist.
You're gonna run the level assist no matter what
so
at this point.
You're at least it's going to be 11-5, and if you have a full stage, the Grief Seed makes it 16-5. It's really hard to block event counters, and if they block event counters, they probably block normal counters in the first place. So
now there are some decks that can only block event counters. You can't block regular ones.
well, usually I'm just saying, like usually that's the ones that are played.
Yeah.
I mean, like, of course, for example, there's the 1/1 Eddie from the very first Love Live set that blocks events until the end of your opponent's next turn. But sure. Great. You
Of course,
it,
of
but
course, it's not like
powerful.
this. Of course, it's not like this card has no weakness. To start with, it's an easy bounce trigger target. It's a given target. It's easy. It's almost a given bounce trigger target. I mean, like, there's no way they're not gonna choose this card for a bounce trigger target.
Yeah. But to its benefit, if it's being targeted for a bounce effect, that means it's already kicked something to clock.
Or might not have it at all. It depends on what happened on that turn.
Well, my question is, like, why would you play this and not have a target to kick the clock? You want immediate advantage out of something that you're playing early. Otherwise, it's just there.
Yeah, like I said, this card has those weaknesses. Bounce trigger is a bounce is quite an obvious. If your opponent has ways to remove cards beforehand, that's an obvious. If your opponent can somehow remove cards while they're attacking the card, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, so anti-change counters you have to be aware of because this card can be targeted for those.
That's only if you plan to play this. If you plan to play this at level 2, which I'm pretty sure you will.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, actually, that kind of now that's up to debate, isn't it?
I'd still say it's a viable option, but it's not something that like I would put the event as a one of.
I'd say the 2 of, but that's because I used to play Himeno. So yeah.
Okay. The reason I say only one of is because you don't want to play the level 3 promo Homura onto stage immediately. The draw to ditch one Homura, I would still wait till level 3 to play that. Playing it at level 2 is only worth it if your draw 2 before you ditch causes you to refresh, and that's situational.
No, that's pretty situational. I guess it goes down to what kind of clock kick you would like to have, I guess.
I mean, like in a mono Homura deck, you're running all the clock kick. So
yeah, I think that's totally different, but yeah.
Yeah, but in a normal deck that is just trying to gain a finisher, I think you'd run either this or the promo over each other, and I don't think you'd run all three. The Climax combo one is definitely the weakest, but has the most upside potential. Has the most upside potential in a bad situation. If you're behind on power at level 3, then the Become a Demon Homura, or Become a Devil Homura is not enough, and the promo Homura obviously won't be enough either. So, I guess my thoughts on the whole matter is, it's more likely that Become a Devil Homura is going to be the best of the three, but there are times when the other two will be good. Like I'm thinking, I remember when this card was spoiled, and it actually was today that this card was spoiled. I remember just thinking it over. It's like she can't get over a Woozer. I started laughing out loud for the.
Well, but that's Woozer's another thing. Woozer and I guess what's his name, Kirito, but Kirito is like I guess weaker in general compared to Woozer.
Yeah, Woozer's like 22k. Homura really needs some help.
Ball. This card cannot get over Ball either.
So can I get over? Oh, Ball. Oh, yeah. Why? Yeah, of course.
If
Balls.
anyone remember balls from the sky that becomes like what 20k and a clock kicker for free?
Hmm.
If that
Or how
card's
about new leader Ricky? 10,000 power extra to all of the characters, so it would be a 20k. So there are times when 18.5 isn't enough, but those are very far few in between.
yo man, I seen a ball deck. That deck was baller.
Are you really trying to make a pun here?
No.
The ball deck was baller.
Yes, I am.
Uh,
Yes, it's bad. Okay. Anyways, this card, I guess it's good. I don't know if it actually be playing this at level 2, in my
level 3, this
opinion.
is an instant play, I
At
think.
level 3, this isn't play. At level 2, becomes a daemon because this card requires setup.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a situational thing, but you kind of want to have the option at times. So it's like the times when you put one meaningless chain in the deck just to be able to finish off your opponent. At least back before this came out, because you didn't really have a methodology of finishing the deck. The
Just finishing
opponent.
your opponent.
And
Monaco is literally
I
heal
would
spam.
immediately take meaningless chain out and put in what's that card's name again? Homer's Despair, easily.
Oh yeah, that one. I was like, wait, what's Homeworld Despair again? Oh yeah,
That's
the event,
that's the
the
2/2
event
event.
we just, the event we
Yeah.
just talked about.
So
But yeah,
there's a lot to talk about this card. I think we're still gonna be talking about this card next week. Just
and it
because.
is we have to
Just
see what the rest of the cards are like, to be honest.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, the set releases next week,
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, actually, let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it releases next week. Dum ba dum. Today is May 7, 8-ish. Yeah, next week.
Okay. Sets out next week, I guess.
Oh, sweet. Does that mean that the next set that's is being previewed is Telefaru?
I think it's gonna be Shining Resonance, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's gonna be Shiny Resonance, and we're gonna see more Resonance cards. But before then, we got more Madoka Magica cards to look at, and we're gonna finish out the set. I really like what this week brought to Madoka. There's a lot of good stuff.
There's a lot of stuff for this week for Madoka. A lot of stuff that filled in what was missing.
Mm-hmm.
As for anything new to note, Shining Resident has been confirmed to be Leo standard with Shining X Zeta, I guess it called.
Shining Force EXA.
EXA. My bad, I had forgot the force part. Yeah, it's been confirmed to be non-Neo standard with that. So, in a sense, it is a boost. What was Shining Resident an extra booster or a full booster?
I believe it was a full booster because it had 4 colors. It had Cyril as a card number 91, if I recall correctly. The band card.
What? The band card's in that set too?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, no man,
Yeah.
no, not Shining Force EXA. I'm talking about Shining Residence.
Oh, Shiny Resonance. Shiny Resonance is an extra booster. Sorry.
So yeah, technically you can look at Shining Resident as a side booster to Shining Force EXA, but
I like to think of it as comeback campaign number 2.
that's a big comeback campaign.
Look what Lucky Star got.
That's another story.
It's still a comeback campaign. I'd say it's just slightly larger than normal.
But either way, Shining Residence is Neo standard to Shining Force. So anyone who had Shining Force before, prefer for that extra boost, and probably better Resonance. I hope. At least I hope. I also think Resonance has some potential.
It's just
It's just that that Ultimate Blade Work didn't do a good job at it.
I don't say that they didn't do a good job. It's just like Excel World. They're testing the waters.
Other than that, I don't think there's anything else. You know of anything else?
None that have been publicly announced.
None that has been publicly announced. Okay,
There
that
is
says
there
a
is
lot.
another thing that came in, but yeah, none of that have been publicly announced.
Other than that, that is it for this week. We'll see you next week, or actually maybe they will see you next week, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but until then, see ya.
Bye.
Oh yeah, this is the Night Shadow again. This is just as an addendum to the end of the podcast here. That day that we did that night, that we did the recording, some dates came out that just came out literally minutes after we finished recording. So I want to get these into you guys before it gets left behind. So basically, there's a Lover Darkness trial that is coming out July 10, and its booster pack is coming out September 18. There's going to be a SAO 2 extra booster featuring Mother's Rosario that comes out August 21. We have the first series for 2015's comeback campaign. That would be Tuaru Majutsu no Index 2. And that is it for now. That does leave the question, obviously, when is Shining Resonance going to happen? Like, what's going to be card reveals after next week? And my guess is that it's going to be Shining Resonance, but publicly we're kind of not sure. So I guess stay tuned and we will see. All right, catch you around.